how about this? If you have to interrogate a man in the field, do you hit him?
You don't interrogate somebody in the field.
No, like if you say like, oh my god, I don't know if this guy's conscious because he could be acting dead, or he may need medical.
You double tap him in the head and make sure you're dead. Just
playing. You don't do that.
I just playing. You don't do that. No.
Topic 2. Let's see. I guess I'll go first.
Wait, that was his topic?
No.
Or that's his.
We're gonna do.
That's just rebuttal.
We're just gonna go rebuttal. We're just gonna go 5 topics. The rebuttal plus 4 topics.
Okay. All right. Since we didn't have any community topics today.
Well, I have community topics on the list. Just like never mind the fact that I do have an actual like word sheet.
Well, I thought they never changed.
Yeah, and then we went through all of them, and we're like, no one wants to do. Sorry, community. We're not going to do your topics.
It's not that they're not great topics. They're just
they
not.
They suck balls.
No. Actually, for the most part, I actually want to do all the topics, but I don't necessarily want to do it with you guys. Especially
because we're assholes.
Because, like,
we're all against it. I mean, UFOs.
UFOs and conspiracy theories. I mean, I
could do it. I'll do it.
Are you going to be for or against?
Yesterday, shit got real for me, man. Okay. I was doing a lot of research, and I was doing a lot of things, and yeah, there are some sick kids out there that have, and they, people are wanting someone accountable. It's hard to find someone accountable.
So but don't they get paid?
Well, no.
Don't
really.
The parents get paid? Isn't there some kind of if the kid gets injured from vaccines, don't they get a payoff?
We're still on
they don't.
No, it's called the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act of 1986. Where vaccine companies cannot be held accountable for if their vaccines injure your kid.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, because they got to the point that they got sued so much. Again, vaccines aren't entirely safe. There are some risks. So you have certain reactions.
So they have to do the pamphlets and all that stuff and the reading material.
Exactly. And, I mean, if you take a vaccine, you feel like shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So if anything happens to a kid after you take a vaccine, you could say it had maybe some causal point. So it got to the point where it was just not profitable for companies to make them. And the government's like, whoa, don't stop making vaccines. We'll figure out something else. They basically gave them a pass.
A free pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Big pharma. Big pharma right there. That's lobbyists, man. Fucking hang them up. Goddamn lobbyists.
All right. Social issue. The thing that was on Facebook right now, it's like gone really viral.
What's that?
South Carolina, the shooting.
Which one?
Damn.
Boom!
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Literally. South Carolina. I've never been anywhere safe in my life.
Literally, shots fired.
Into the back of an unarmed civilian.
Oh, man.
That's very distasteful. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. No.
Not really. Not really.
All right.
Well, you should be. An innocent guy got killed.
Okay. So he was resisting arrest.
Well, he was running away.
And then he ran away.
Yeah.
Well, he ran away twice.
Yeah, he ran away twice when he got out of his car, right?
Yeah.
And then again when. Before he got shot.
And then so he just straight up pulls up that gun like and all the way. I know I'm gonna embed the video into this right here. Like you'll be.
Well, don't block our faces.
Are you gonna put a loop on it? So it's like as we're talking about, he's just like
here's what I'll do. I'll cut away from us, and it'll be just the video on screen, and we'll be voicing over.
All right. Okay.
All right. That works. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll video.
Roll video. All right.
Roll video.
So. Where are we on the video right now? So
I know,
we should be watching it live and doing like a commentary on it.
Well, from what I saw,
commentary track.
This guy did a very shitty start out to his run because this guy's obviously not a runner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is weird.
Professionally or hobbyistly, and obviously he's overweight. So
I was gonna say,
if I see someone, and I'm not a police officer, but I do think I could have run this guy down.
I want to know why he was running.
I think he thought he could get away without getting tired.
Okay.
Without getting tired.
Without getting tired. And you can see how it's like if he would have gone about 50 yards, he would have been pretty slow. Just by seeing his gait, his rhythm, like,
Yeah.
So
he did look really slow.
Yeah. So I've been like, sir, come on. Sir, don't do this. Don't do this. Come on. You're going to be really tired in those handcuffs. Let's just stop. This is embarrassing. I'm not gonna chase a fat guy around town. I actually had time to go get my car, and I'm actually following you in my car right now. So.
Damn.
No, I also have to throw in a response there. You know, so I got sent.
Oh yeah, your last
response.
episode 13, and there's
Yeah.
a clip. I'm not gonna put a clip up, but it's where you in the soundbite. You were
Yeah,
like,
the sound-
I want to see somebody
Yeah.
like just shoot somebody in cold
cold
blood, and
blood,
all
you know,
that
just
stuff.
straight
Yeah.
up.
Send it to me. Send it to me.
Send it to
and
me.
And then
And that cop from South Carolina
Yeah.
heard you.
And then
Murder, dude.
and then
Damn.
and then you were sent that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it got sent to me twice, but it really didn't meet the criteria.
Right, right.
Because I said there can't be any controversy. There can't be
Resisting arrest.
running away, or you know, it's a cop that just comes over, just pretty much either beats the dude to death or just shoots him for no reason. That's what I want to see.
And then when I saw that, by the way, when I saw that video
Yeah.
on Facebook, I actually thought of you, and I'm like, that is close to what Juan is looking for, but not it, because there's no context
Right,
in that
there is
fucking
no
video.
yeah, you don't know,
You don't- yeah.
and there's so many other videos where it looks like the cop did wrong, but you know the context, and okay, they were right, because you know they did pull the gun. Remember, we were talking about how he pulled the gun from a rookie cop and stuff, and he did die with the cop, you know, with the gun, and everybody was screaming, "Oh, he got murdered! He murdered him!" And like, it's not true. So those guys got cleared.
It just goes back to what David was saying about people who just want to react all the
Just
time.
people want to react, and they
Yeah.
don't know what's going on, you know, and you know that's the way it is. But and don't get me wrong, I don't
This
think
one-
the cop
this
was
one was
wrong.
hard.
I don't
This one
think
was a
he
little
was.
bit- yeah, 'cause
I don't think the cop
planting
was
the
right.
taser and
He
shit.
planted the taser. I saw that. Now that piece right there, that was the part that said, okay, this guy's guilty. I mean, he did something wrong. I mean,
Something happened.
I mean, that's just crazy. He just
Not him shooting a guy in the back. But.
no. I mean, because a cop will shoot a suspect in the back if he's holding a gun or he thinks he's in danger. He can still do that.
Okay, well, my point is with police brutality these days, and I even hate that word. It's like I would say police homicide.
Yeah.
Rodney King
Is that-
Rodney King.
All they have to say is that he was resisting arrest.
That's
there would
true.
be no evidence necessary other than he reached for my gun
Yeah.
50 feet away. I saw him kind of like will it towards him with the force, and I was like, fuck, this guy's a Jedi. I shot him in the face.
And then on top of that, well,
That's all it would take.
and
And
well,
it-
isn't it starting to become more and more of a thing where there's body cams now? Just
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah,
a lot of
even,
police officers
Dallas
don't want
is
that.
pushing
you
for
know
that.
why they don't want that? Because they can be held accountable.
There was this one article. I don't know if it's true or not, but there was this cop who was wearing a body cam, and he was involved in like 3 shootings. But every single time his
He
cam
turned it off.
Yeah, it was turned off.
Oh.
Like it just happened to be malfunctioning at that time.
That for me, you're fired.
Yeah, I'd be like,
You're
that's
fired.
It
You're
should be like a
gone.
rule,
You're
like
out.
if you like turn off your cam or there happens a malfunction at that moment, you know, hey, dude, you can't cover yourself. I mean, that's
Like if
BS.
it happens once, it's all right.
Okay,
like a
yeah.
citation, like
Three
yeah.
times in a row,
3
it's like
times,
that's
yeah.
kind
I
of
mean,
questionable.
And
Yeah.
every single time the camera just happened to not work
why
at that
why
time.
they have the option of turning it off?
There's not that option.
Yeah. Oh, I
They
took
do
it
have
off.
that option.
And another woman, I think she was in
Shouldn't
Louisiana. She decided, this police officer, she decided, oh, I took it off because I was about to get off my shift. You didn't take off your fucking vest. You didn't take off your gun or your goddamn badge.
Right.
If you have those on, you should have your fucking camera running.
Yeah,
You're-
because
I mean,
even if you're on
I'm
duty,
just
you're
doing my
still on
job.
duty.
You're on taxpayer money. We do what we tell you to do. There should be no questions, or get another job, because it is a job.
Yeah.
There's no fucking holiness about a badge. It doesn't grant you extra rights or extra privileges. You are held accountable to the law, and the law says if you cannot prove that there is a crime, then that person walks. It doesn't mean you get to shoot him.
Right.
There you go.
So if the man, I thought he had a gun. Did he have a gun? No, but I thought he did. Oh, I guess it's okay then.
It is
No,
okay.
if he didn't have a gun and you shot him, that's murder.
Not technically, no. That's not.
How is that not murder?
Because if I were to, if you're a cop,
Okay, I'm a cop.
okay,
Boom.
all right, you're a cop. I'm a suspect,
Mhm.
all right, and you can set it up in a bad neighborhood or something. If I go like this to you,
Mhm.
what are you gonna do? If I go like this to you, what are you gonna assume?
I'm gonna assume you're reaching for your weapon.
Okay, but if you shoot me, or let's say you don't, let's say you shoot me,
Mhm.
and you said, hey, he was reaching for something, I shot him, but I didn't have anything. Then what? What do you have there? You murdered me? You're gonna go to
Yes,
jail for that?
that was murder. That I would be held accountable.
Well, wait,
then,
just like that gesture. I mean,
Oh
you're
yeah, that
still-
gesture.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what else this is for? My wallet.
exactly.
If
but-
you're asking me for my ID
No,
and
yeah,
I'm going
no,
for
no,
my ID,
no.
fine. If my reflex is to go for my ID, fine. But unless you see a gun pointed at you, you are not engaged. What are the rules of engagement?
You're not a cop. You can't talk about this.
Boom. Okay, how about that?
I think we should have a cop friend.
I'm going to ask this question.
The cop person.
Wait, don't you have cop friends?
The cop friend is not going to come on and say that they're a cop. They're going to say that they're just a civilian.
Let's say that they're an expert. They're an expert.
You were in the military.
I am in the military.
You are in the military. Okay. Not going to say rank, whatever. But I'm going to say if you're supervising people, you see someone, you suspect this person that he may have a weapon. Yeah. Do you point your rifle at this man?
Yes. In the battlefield, yes.
Well, let's say you're.
That's the rules of engagement. I mean,
that's the rules of engagement. You suspect something, you're going to look. Think about
here's
soldiers. Think about soldiers and policemen.
Wait for it.
Is safety is always
safety. Yeah.
It's always okay.
Go home.
Safety for myself and for people around. Whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. If somebody knows you're a cop or sees you in a uniform, why would they do something suspicious to make your senses go up and just light up? Like, why would somebody reach for do the reach, or turn around and look like they're doing something? Because cops have been killed this way. They didn't react fast enough, and they came around and they shot them. So yes, cops are on edge, soldiers are on edge. So yes, you can be held accountable if there wasn't a reasonable enough suspicion for you to shoot. But let me tell you something.
Can you
If people are ignorant and they want to act a certain way around a cop, especially suspicious, hey, you know what? That's to your own detriment. I mean, he's a cop. You know what his job is. Why would you act suspicious? Why would you turn your back on him just so you could turn around really fast or shoot him, stab him, put needles in him? All this, I mean, shit has happened. So police take all of this information in a heightened state of alert, and they have to be ready to react to anything.
Sure.
And you know what? They do react, but you can also be proactive. So if somebody does this, hey, you're drawing your gun and you're going to put it on them, and maybe you don't shoot. Maybe you wait that split second so you can see if there's a gun or confirm something. I get that, but how are you going to be the judge of what split second it was? Like, do I shoot him first? Because maybe he did have a gun or he didn't have a gun. I mean, what's to say you are not in that position to say, oh man, if I was him, in retrospect, I would have just waited that one split second. You don't know that.
Everyone's a sideline
quarterback. So you could always say, oh, you weren't there.
No, that you weren't in that position.
You weren't in that position.
Yeah, you weren't in that position.
Okay.
So what were you gonna say? You were gonna say like, oh yeah, like wait, and then you're like, wait for it. What were you gonna say?
Okay. Well, you don't just aim your rifle at a man in the military or out of the military, and they'll teach you that in the rules of engagement. Why? Because you're escalating the situation before assessing it.
Okay.
You can have a readied rifle without already an aiming rifle. Do you recall that training?
No.
Well, that training's there.
Okay.
And it's the same reason, because why the military was policing Iraq. And the military, the Army military the United States military isn't exactly designed for policing purposes. In fact, it's illegal for the Army to police in the United States.
Unless it's martial law.
And that has to be declared by the president. But
I thought it was the governor.
The executive power of that rating authority. But the governor does National Guard, not U.S. Army.
Okay.
Yeah. So the reason for that is because sometimes that person doesn't have a gun.
Okay.
And when people say, oh, it's in the military, we're at war, or in soldiers, in the police officers, oh, we're at war with crime. The people you encounter every day aren't soldiers. There's what you would call literally civilians.
Okay.
And as civilians, your duty is not to shoot them. In fact, it is to protect them. Yeah. And that's where the sacrifice comes in, because a lot of people always put emphasis on the sacrifice that our military does, our soldiers, our Marines, our sailors. What is that sacrifice? To put your life on the line to assess that danger. To suddenly say, I'm going to put my life on the line to protect others. How do you protect someone by shooting them?
You're protecting others.
So another person was there like, oh, he reached for the gun. I was afraid for that guy.
I was afraid for myself or others around you.
You're okay, fine. Yeah.
Now you talked about rules of engagement, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're in the military.
No, I was not in the military.
So the rules of engagement has certain steps that you have to do, and yes, pointing a gun at somebody is part of the rules of engagement. So I'm not sure where you got your information, but yes, we are allowed to point a weapon at somebody to stop them from doing the suspicious activity. Because it can be just a suspicious activity. Yeah. Because let me tell you something: when somebody's walking up to you and not stopping, and you're telling them, "Hey, stop, stop, stop," and they keep walking on there, and they know you're saying stop because you're putting your hand up. What if they have a suicide vest?
Yeah. What if?
What if? Exactly. So you don't know. So you keep them at a certain distance, and you follow the rules of engagement. If they don't stop, then you show them. Show of force will be next, and then the next one's going to be aiming the gun.
You see it?
Ready.
Did you see that? Readied rifle.
That's a show of force.
Show of force.
But you said
Show
you
of
don't
force.
point your
You don't,
weapon.
you ready your rifle, but never aim.
You ready your rifle.
No, yeah, you do.
And then point your weapon.
I just said that.
Yeah, exactly. That was my point. That's the training.
No,
that
you said
goes
I
in
don't point my weapon at somebody.
Don't aim.
Yes.
Ready.
No. Yeah, you aim it.
You
ready.
I
Ready.
just said
Ready.
show of force.
Yeah.
If he keeps
Then
coming,
you aim.
if he keeps coming towards you,
it
that's
doesn't
when
matter.
you aim.
There's 2 steps there.
That's 2 steps.
You said rules of engagement, but you said I don't aim it. Yes, you do aim it.
No, you don't. You don't skip step 1. You go. Do you go straight to aiming, ready, and aim,
Yeah,
or do you go to
do
ready
that.
first?
Hey, whoa, hold on, whoa.
I think
What
we're
are
all
the
getting
steps
confused
here?
Okay.
If it's a fast-coming vehicle, do you think I'm gonna show of force, say stop?
Was this guy in a
No.
fast-moving vehicle?
See, exactly.
He wasn't.
The situation is different, but the show of force is still there. Hey, stop! Wave them off, but they're coming at you. Then you have to go straight into aiming. You don't have to show of force. You have to go straight into it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So the
agree.
situation is dictated by what the situation is.
Oh,
so,
yes, I agree with that.
Can you skip a step? Yes, of course. You have to sometimes because of that.
Yeah,
but
you don't always have time to evacuate
Your
civilians,
statement was you don't ever aim your weapon. Yeah, you actually do.
No,
you actually
you don't aim your weapon right away to people like that. You don't do that. That's not.
You might have to sometimes. Though.
Yeah. Well, how about this? If you have to interrogate a man in the field, do you hit him?
You don't interrogate somebody in the field.
No, like if you say, like, "Oh my God, I don't know if this guy is conscious because he could be acting dead, or he may need medical."
You double tap him in the head and make sure you're dead. Just playing.
You don't do that.
I just playing. You don't do that.
What is this, Grand Theft Auto?
So
how do you go
your
about
point
it?
was there's a rules of engagement,
Yeah,
some
there are
steps
rules
or whatever. Yeah.
what you're supposed to do.
Sure.
Because your job is a very complicated
No,
one.
of course.
Very complicated.
You're
one.
making life
But-
and death decisions here,
Yeah,
and
life
it
and
might be a
death
split.
decisions.
Might be a split second, man. You know.
And the end objective is to save lives.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, and at no point should you ever sacrifice. The main objective is to save lives. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
No,
and
I
that
agree
life
with you.
is to say it could be yours.
I
If
agree
you're
with
in
you.
uniform and you're alive, save your life.
Yeah.
Save your life.
You're coming home, Juan.
Now
I'm saying
remember, and I talked about this in the last episode I was in.
Right.
I don't like ignorant people, right? And when you want to act straight ignorant, if you do what you have to do, and as a civilian or whatever you want to call it, as the person who is being interrogated or stopped by the police,
Which brings up the next video on Facebook.
right? It's just you just do. You know what a cop is. The cop is there to do his job.
Yeah.
And your responsibility is to do whatever that cop says.
No.
Yes.
No.
Actually, yes.
No,
it
it's
is.
not. It's
Nope.
actually not.
Actually, it is.
It's actually within the realms of the law.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
they're gonna give you commands, and
No.
you need to do them.
No. If I have to do them legally, I have to do them legally. If I don't, I don't.
Well,
it doesn't
which
mean,
part, I guess?
Okay, let's say, for example, I'm walking down the sidewalk
Okay.
and someone stops me.
Yes.
Police officer.
Yes.
Police officer says, "Hey, what are you doing here? Show me some ID."
Okay.
What do? You
You have to show them your ID.
don't have to show me ID
Why not?
because you are not in the process of committing a crime, nor does he have probable cause of suspecting you committing a crime.
Now you can talk about probable cause, but what if you're in an area you're not supposed to be in?
Walking on a sidewalk.
Oh yeah,
Where?
I've been through this before.
I
He's
know.
been-
That's-
yeah, in the last
that's-
podcast he
That's
said
why.
it.
That's why I brought
said
it up.
this. Yeah, I've
For
been through
example,
this.
Yes. He has no right to ask you where you're going. In fact, you don't have to talk to him at all.
No,
you don't
actually,
have
that's
to
not
show
true.
him ID at all.
Actually, that's not true.
No,
You do
that
have
is
to
true.
answer his
you
questions.
you can talk to a lawyer if
Yeah.
you want,
Yeah.
but these laws exist.
Okay. So
Now, whether or not that cop has the right to say,
So-
you know what, you're not, you're being uncooperative.
So
You're
that
going under arrest. Like, whoa, officer, what are the charges?
you're not being
You're
cooperative.
resisting arrest now, sir.
Yeah.
That means I can shoot you. Because, you don't really.
I think you're taking it a little bit more to an extreme, but yes, I have spoken. I have a lot of friends that are cops, and they have shown me the codes. You have to be cooperative to the police officer. If he talks to you, you do have to respond.
I like how this comes up. Have you the phrase "lawful order"?
Yeah, we have lawful orders in the military.
Yeah, lawful order.
Okay, a lawful order is, hey, what are you doing?
Order.
Yeah.
Know the law. A lawful order isn't saying I want you to show me your ID. That doesn't make it lawful. The circumstances of the situation.
You can say you don't have an ID, but you have to respond to the cop.
You don't ever have to speak to a police officer. You have a right to not
So
incriminate yourself by the Fifth Amendment.
He pulls you over.
He pulls you over. If he pulls me over and I'm driving, I have the legal obligation within the state of Texas for me to give my driver's license.
Yes, and your insurance.
And my insurance.
Okay.
Registration too.
My registration is on the window. He can see that.
But he's still
I don't have to have a separate ticket in Texas. Excuse me. So I open my window. I give him the papers. He's like, "Oh, how are you doing today?" Don't have to answer. Is the information on your license correct? I still do not have to answer him.
Wow.
Do you have any weapons in the vehicle? I still don't have to answer you.
Wow. It's kind of hard to believe.
Officer,
I want to see this.
Officer, please give me my ticket so I can be on my way. I'll challenge the allegations or process in court because at this point you are here to serve me a ticket. And I don't need to talk to you because anything you can say can be held against you in a court of law. But
it's actually illegal to have
you, specifically the word against you. If I then say to the officer, "Well, I'm late for my job. That's why I was speeding," and it comes up later in court, and not saying that justifies speeding. What I'm saying is, what I said, if it can be held in my favor, it won't be able to put it admissible in court because that's hearsay. If it works for me, it's hearsay. If it works against me, it's admissible.
Well, what if they just arrest you for being uncooperative? You still don't talk?
And that's where we go from a cop to a stormtrooper.
Well, yeah, right, I mean, but if they do, because you're not being cooperative,
and you know
well, what if he tells you to step out of your vehicle? You don't have to respond?
Why would he have to ask me to step out of my vehicle?
No, because you're being uncooperative.
By exercising my rights?
Yeah.
By exercising my rights. You know why you got shot at?
Why?
Because of my rights.
Yeah, and?
And that cop nullified your service.
Nullified my service. Okay.
Yeah.
But he has the right to. He has the right to.
The whole point for you fighting for a country, defending an oath to the what? The president? No. Congress? No. What are you defending oath to?
The United States and the president of the United States.
The Constitution.
Constitution, country, and president of the United States.
There you go. Yeah. Constitution.
Because he's the commander in chief.
Against all enemies, foreign
and domestic.
And domestic.
Mm-hmm. And that cop who violated my rights is now a domestic enemy to the Constitution.
Well, hold on. Well, wait. If there is a penal code that says you have to be cooperative to a police officer and you're being uncooperative, you're actually technically breaking the law.
Well, that would be the point that what's being uncooperative. Exercising your rights is not uncooperative.
Every cop I've ever talked to says you do have to answer the questions that they ask you. I mean, they have to know.
Then every cop you've spoken to has been taught wrong. And they need to be refreshed in their course, and that's probably why we're having such problems with law enforcement these days.
I should talk to my cop friend who just graduated.
Okay, the police academy. Ask him, and then ask a lawyer and see where the
lawyers. Okay, lawyers are there to bend and interpret law. Cops are taught the law.
No.
Laws. Lawyers will try to interpret
lawyers are taught
laws.
the law. Cops are taught to enforce laws that they don't understand.
They don't have to understand. It's either you do it or you don't.
If you can't enforce the law because you don't understand it, that's because...
Okay.
It's like saying, wait, I'm a safety code violation, but I don't really know the safety codes very well. But I'm going to cite you on safety codes because I kind of sort of know them.
Yeah,
and that temperature of that hot water isn't quite right.
Hot enough.
I think it's off by like 5 degrees, and I'm not sure if I'm plus or minus 5 on what it should be as far as the hot water in a commercial kitchen. But I'm gonna cite you.
I guess
it doesn't work.
Well, I guess you kind of don't understand how the code works. Police officers are there to enforce the law. Mm-hmm. Judges are there to interpret the law. Lawyers are there to defend or whatever prosecute a person. So a cop just sees, oh, he's breaking the law. I'm gonna arrest him. It's not up to me whether he gets prosecuted or not. He broke the law.
How does he know he's broken the law?
Because he knows what the law is. You see what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying too.
You shall not kill.
If he doesn't know the law,
boom.
How does he know that the person's breaking the law?
Because he studied it. They do extensive months of like training, penal and federal, like local and federal laws. I mean, that's all they do for like 6 months.
Can the cops search my vehicle without a warrant and not my consent? If I don't give them consent, can you search a vehicle? My vehicle?
No, you cannot.
No.
Well,
but cops do it.
They'll get probable
and
cause.
You know why they
always
say that
they get probable cause?
They'll get probable cause. Yeah.
Like if you smell of alcohol, or
you know
the dog sniffs up there and
violation of rights, and they'll get the dog to false indicate sometimes. Man,
they did that to him. Because I asked him, did the dog sit? And he said no. He was just jumping up and scratching on there. Like that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
But if you ask that cop, you can ask him that day whether or not he's doing it right. He's like, oh yeah, of course, that's what we were taught, and it's legal because this is what happened. Or find out, no, I don't need a warrant because I'm a cop.
No, that's crap though.
Oh,
like,
that's crap.
Like,
but that happened. And the moment that person who is a civilian minded says, no, you're not coming in. Oh, you're resisting. You're being uncooperative.
Yeah.
Final word on this topic was that one video I saw earlier today on Facebook. Juan was gracious enough to tag me in it.
Yes, sir.
It was that guy from South Carolina who was basically saying on a 2-minute video or whatever, like he was saying that he got pulled over by a cop. He was cooperative. He got let go with there was either a warning or warning, with a warning, and that was it. He was on his way. So lesson is just
cooperate.
Just cooperate. Mm-hmm. Everything will turn out good.
Everyone's a human being.
I have actually, I mean, I've been pulled over many times, and I told a bad story, but there were stories where I actually got let go with a warning because I was able to,
I've gotten let go with 8. I've gotten like 8 warnings.
I got 3 warnings actually once.
I mean, I got pulled over for being brown. I mean, that's
must
obvious.
be mid-month.
So yeah,
I mean, it just happens, And just one more thing, they came up with, there was a development that just came out with the cop.
Okay.
So he tased like earlier last year, and he's like and mixed up with this. He tased the driver that was already like handcuffed. He was already restrained. And he told him, "Hey, I'm gonna tase you," and he just like tased him, but he was already restrained.
What the hell?
Yeah, I was like, that's on the news today. So
how did he keep his job after that?
Yeah, I know, right?
That was being uncooperative.
Yeah, he's being uncooperative.
But he was handcuffed.
No, but he was being uncooperative.
But he was handcuffed.
Right?
He was uncooperatively handcuffed.
So maybe he just wanted to just feel exercise some power, even though he didn't have any.
But you see, my point is like that's why something like that should not be justifiable. When it's the word of a police officer is all you need to have his actions justified, that's not the world I want to live in.
So hashtag power corrupts absolute.